Has agreed to sell his 20% stake in the club to Lithuanian millionaire Vladimir Romanov. As Roddy Scott now reports, Romanov is keen to secure further investment in Hearts, but his imminent arrival doesn't necessarily mean that Tynecastle will remain the home of the Edinburgh club beyond this season.
Chris Robinson was giving nothing away this afternoon.
You got any comment to make about the sale of your shares?
Alleged.
The chief executive has cleared his desk, but then maybe he's just a tidy person that way. Nothing has been confirmed, but informed sources claim Mr. Robinson has agreed to sell his 19.8% stake to Vladimir Romanov, the condition of the sale being that Hearts stay at Tynecastle for the foreseeable future. Quite what that means is not clear. It's not known if the Lithuanian can afford to clear the club's debt, which currently stands at £19 million.
Nobody's entirely clear about what his aspirations are for the club, and I think it's quite, the change of ownership is not necessarily the same thing as saying automatically Tynecastle will be retained.
One certainty, however, is that Mr. Robinson, whose plans to sell Tynecastle and move to Murrayfield proved pretty unpopular with some of the fans, would leave his post immediately on completion of the sale. And the supporters we spoke to seemed quite happy to hear that.
Excellent, excellent, brilliant news. Best news I've had all morning. Excellent.
I'm a member of the Supporters Club, been supporting the Save Our Hearts campaign. I think this is great. I'm absolutely delighted.
Glad to see him go.
It's not clear what stage discussions with Hearts' other major shareholders, Leslie Deans, Robert McGrail and SMG, have reached, but a statement on the sale of Chris Robinson's stake is expected to be made to the Stock Exchange before the end of the week.
So it looks like Chris Robinson is now on his way out, and while Vladimir Romanov may be something of a mystery man himself, it looks likely that he'll be in charge of a club that plays its football at Tynecastle Stadium. Good news for the fans, for whom it seems there really is no place like home. Roddy Scott, Scotland Today, at Tynecastle Stadium in Edinburgh.
Well, former Hearts captain Gary Mackay campaigned vociferously against Chris Robinson and his plans to sell Tynecastle, and he joins us live from Edinburgh just now. Gary, you must feel very vindicated this evening.
I'm delighted, Raman, delighted for the hard work at the trust I've put in and the Federation of Hearts supporters, and we have been vindicated with the protests and the very peaceful protests that have took place here.
Now, you've just about got your wish with the removal of Chris Robinson. Romanov's going to arrive, but this doesn't necessarily mean that Tynecastle will remain the home of Hearts, does it?
No, but I think the important thing for us is that there is somebody that's going to come in and he's got fresh ideas and he will take the supporters' views on board. That has been the difficulty with Chris Robinson's tenure, that he's never really listened to the views of the supporters at all.
Some might treat Romanov's imminent arrival as a bit with caution. He tried to invest in Dundee and Dundee United. Are you absolutely convinced that this man will have the cash to save the club?
Well, we need change in the football club, Raman, and that is the important thing. And if he comes in and he'll get the full backing of the Hearts supporters, as long as the chief executive is removed from any continued role at the football club, there'll be a real groundswell of support for Mr. Romanov and his acquaintances.
What about Craig Levein, Gary? What will he be thinking of this evening? You know, you see what Abramovich done at Chelsea. He brought in his own man. Is there a danger that this chap might do the same?
Well, we hope that isn't the case, because all the supporters have been right behind the management team and the playing staff. They've had a wonderful 2 seasons. And again, maybe with better support from the boardroom, the team will actually continue to go forward, starting on Thursday evening across in Braga.
And just finally on that, Gary, what about the timing of this news?
Oh, it's wonderful. There'll be 1 or 2 shandies drunk across in Braga on Wednesday and Thursday, I would think, from the Hearts supporters are there, and I'll join them tomorrow.
OK, Gary Mackay live from Tynecastle. Thanks very much for joining us this evening.